Hello everyone, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink with an A2 sized card. Shocker, I know. I've been obsessed with Slimline. But I really wanted to use these Garden Lattice cover plate wafer dies from Honeybee Stamps. This is part of a video hop. I'll get into it in a second. There are two separate wafer dies. There is the base, which is the wider one. The one off to the right here. And then there's the top. You can use them on their own. You can layer them like I am here. Options. That's what I love. So I had die cut them from just white cardstock. There is something I just love about any sort of cover plate die like this, whether it's layered ones or just a single one. The white on white look, just that texture, or just using the same colors, whatever it is, just for texture. So I layered these together. I'm using Honeybee's new liquid glue. I've been holding off using this because it has been on reserve for a while. I think it actually still is. But yeah, I'm really liking it. That's all I'm going to say right now. It's a nice glue. I like the size of the tube. I like the glue. Anyway, I layered those together. And then I'm using the lovely Layers Monstera leaf wafer die set. Oh, really love this too. I know, I'm kind of ridiculous, but really, I'm not going to post and create with things that I don't genuinely enjoy using or that I purchase or what, you know, like, I'm not going to use something and be like, oh my God, like, this is awful. I love it. This I really like. I just, in my head, I was picturing, you know, those like Instagram spaces you see that are very white with like a lot of like indoor plants, especially like the Monstera leaves and the fiddle leaf figs and that sort of thing. Oh, I really wish. I can't do indoor plants. I kill them all. I really wish I could like keep them alive because it would just be wonderful. But anyway, I'll make fake ones with die cuts like I am here. So I die cut these several times from green cardstocks. I used Simon Says Stamp's green leaf, that's the lighter green, and then the darker green is Lawn Fawn's Noble Fur, which FYI online, that green cardstock looks much more like an evergreen color, and it's not. It's like how it shows in the video. Hopefully it's showing up properly. It's more like a Starbucks green in real life, and I really like it. So I did that. The Hello die cut is from the Slimline Sentiments Eyelet die set. I used that in my last Honeybee video. I used the Thanks wafer die from that. I never thought I would absolutely love such fine sentiment dies. Usually I just find them such a pain to adhere together, but they look so nice. I really like it. It was worth stacking them together. And if you do tiny little dabs of glue, just tiny little dots, you don't need to coat the whole thing. It works. Same thing with all these other ones. You don't need to coat the entire surface of anything with glue, especially when you're working with liquid glue. You just need a little bit. And it's done. It's adhered. It's not coming apart. You'll tear your cardstock if you do try to get it apart. So I'd done all that. And then I pulled out the Honeybee Back to Basics paperback because it's black and white. And black and white and gold is a thing I've been obsessed with for a long time now. But black and white and gold with a pop of color makes me even more happy. So I used a bit of the pattern paper to back this. That wasn't my original plan, but I couldn't stop once I started. And then I had to add splatter. My last card, I didn't do any splatter. I didn't do any bling. And I've said this a million times. When I, you know, contain myself that way, I need to add splatter and bling to like everything afterwards. So I added some black splatter, and that was just Ranger's Black Soot Distress Paint. Absolutely love. If you want a good black splatter, that is the only product I've come across so far that works the best. Because you don't have to water it down because it's a very liquid consistency. But just FYI, black soot, or not just black soot, but distress paint is permanent. So make sure you clean off your tools, etc. And just, yeah, it is permanent. It does not wash off once it's dry, just FYI. So I did that, and then I added some gold splatter with my Starry colors. I'd added a little bit of water to the one gold I wanted to use, worked it up really good with my paintbrush, splattered it, let that background dry, and now I'm going to start assembling my card front. So I cut a little black and white strip from the Back to Basics package, just a different pattern paper, and I'm adhering it on top of this piece of black cardstock that I cut down as well. I just wanted that to kind of ground the sentiment since it is such a finely detailed sentiment. The top layer of that hello sentiment was gold glitter cardstock, of course, because again, gold. I just, every time I think about it, I start thinking about Austin Powers. But anyway, I adhered everything together. I'm just using the liquid glue for this entire card. I'm not using any dimensionals. With a card like this, I don't feel the need to, because I've got so many layers of cardstock going on that it's got dimension. That's the whole point. It's got texture and dimension and depth. So I adhered the Monstera, 2 of the Monstera leaves to this card to give you an idea just how big they are. This card front is A2 sized, so 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Like, those leaves are big. It's perfect. I love it. And yet again, I'm like, ooh, it'd be really fun to have some smaller ones. Just, you know, I like having different sizes of all the things. Anyway, I adhered everything, adhered the sentiment, and then I'm going to heat emboss the sentiment for the inside of the card. So I'm using the Sea Breeze little mini stamp set. I really liked the sentiment, so I'm just going to stamp it onto some black cardstock. I'm going to stamp it with clear embossing ink. So I'm going to ink that up a couple times, stamp that onto the black cardstock, and then I'm going to coat this with some gold embossing powder. And then I'm going to melt this with my heat tool, and this is also something that makes me very happy. There's something about metallic embossing powder as it melts, and it just turns shiny, and it's just like, it's so satisfying. Anyway, after I had heat embossed this, I used the coordinating wafer die. Someone had actually messaged me asking me about this the other day, like what companies have coordinating wafer dies for their sentiments. Pretty sure Honeybee was one of the first. Personally, I don't care who the first is. I like that they're all doing it. It's great. But yeah, Honeybee has like pretty much, I think, coordinating wafer dies for every single sentiment. That's just what they do. And I love it. They're the ones that got me into it. I never thought I would need this in my life. And now I struggle with sentiments if they don't have a coordinating wafer die, because, you know, it's all getting handed to me, and just, it makes my life easier, and I like the look of it. So anyway, I die cut the sentiment with the coordinating wafer die, and then on the inside of the card, I adhered the kind of remaining strip of that same gray and white pattern paper. And this is another one where the inside, this could be a card front as well, but I like finishing the insides of my cards. So I adhered the pattern paper, I adhered the die cut leaf, and then the sentiment. So that finished off the inside of the card. And then I'm going to adhere the card front to the card base. And like I had said, the Garden Lattice wafer dies are A2 size, so they will completely cover an A2 card. So you could do a different color card base. I thought about that, but decided to keep it white just because, again, the white, gold, black, pop of green makes me happy. And then, of course, as a final bit of embellishment, I'm going to add some gold crystals from my stash just to tie it all together. So that finishes off the card. Like I said, this is part of a video hop to celebrate Honeybee's YouTube channel passing 10,000 subscribers. Those that aren't aware, I'm on the Honeybee design team, and I do videos for their channel every once in a while. I post them on here as well. So I will have a link to the next stop on this hop in the description box below the video. I'll have links on my blog as well. And yeah, hop along, check it out. Super fun, lots of inspiration. Thank you all so much for watching and subscribing and thumbs upping and commenting. I really appreciate the support, and I will see you all very soon in the next video. Bye!